woke up this morning, the sky was gray.
Before we begin, just a little housekeeping. This session is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube. Please make sure your microphone is muted and your camera is turned off so we can avoid distractions. If you have questions, jot them down. We'll have time for Q&A at the end. And if you enjoy the session, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video so others can learn too. Alright, let's get started.
It's a quick start. Okay, so welcome to Quick Start Sudowrite in non-English languages. My name is Dahlia and I've been using Sudowrite since March 2023 to plan, write, and revise my novels. I write primarily in German, and my main genres are fantasy, queer romance, and thriller. And I'm excited to host this session alongside Manon Dahlia, a passionate writer and teacher from Canada. And before we dive in, Manon, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone as well?
I'm the mad science when it comes to language and a few other things. I love to work with John Crescent. So everything that we do normally in the second language or different language, I like to take everything that me and John do together and make sure we can actually work with them inside someone else's language. So for me, I will test it in French. And if Dahlia was to try it, it will be try it in German. I'm a published author and I've been with Sudowrite for over 3 years. It's a passion. I never stop talking about it. And I'm always, it's a full-time job. So I'm always writing, always editing and publish my books. That's enough.
Yeah, that's great. And today in this session, our main focus will be to answer your questions about writing in non-English languages so that you can learn to use Sudowrite effectively in your language and handle common challenges.
Exactly. And it's a small family, so we love to hear your voice. We like to have the interaction. And before I started recording, my bad, I forgot to start it at the start. We had a question on how to import different language inside Sudowrite because somehow the part of it get imported in the language of the person. And then during the story Bible, things get lost and transfer in English. So we were trying to see if we can fix that by using my grandfather's story that is in a Word document inside Google. So for me, I always have access to all my files. I do not have anything free. I use always the paid version to make sure that my writing stay my writing. It doesn't get stolen by free program and things like that. So I'm a bit, how would I say that? I'm always afraid that something gets stolen or something like that if I don't pay for it. So my Google is paid, my Zoom is paid, all my program I use for my books are paid programs. So this way, if something happened, they don't have that thing says, well, it's free, so we can do whatever we want with it. So that's my 2 cents as a published author, which I really like to keep my words for me and my readers. Okay, so the answer to that question that we're going to test right now, I said to the person here that put that little magic prompt that we have, which is basically write all content in French or in German or in Italian, Spanish, Sweden, the language you want, you put it in here on top of your document. As you can see, this document is entirely in French. It has a lot of information. It's having already some synopsis, a lot of information about my granddad. It's also having an outline, a prelude on the outline and how I like to get things, a summarize. There's a lot of information. There's 68-page information about my granddad's life as a woodrunner. So what I did is I put that little prompt at the top. I did save it and I did download it. So as simple as that, you download in a Word document. Then you go to your Sudowrite and you go import novel. Then here you can click browse or drag and drop. So you go in your, where's my, it's a new, download is right there. And I have to change that to the list, which normally the first one on top, and you open it. So we're going to let it do the importation and see if it's going to fix that problem and put most of the item, hopefully, or all the item in French. During that time, do we have more questions? anything you like us to test beside what I'm testing right now?
Currently, the chat is clear, but don't be shy. Just ask any question that comes to mind. There are no dumb questions in case you're worried.
Yeah, in the military, we say that the only dumb question is the one you don't ask.
Yeah, that's very true.
What people are writing in these days? What's your, what are you working on? So we have someone who works and write in Norwegian, which we'll try to test that language too. How that work? Did you try it in Norwegian? Do you have good result with Sudowrite in that language?
Yes, I do. I really haven't compared the pros, how good it is compared to English, but I find it okay. I have to rewrite anyway, so it's not perfect, but I guess it's not perfect in any language, I think.
True. I mean, the AI is not there to write the book for you, it's there to help you to write the book with you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm very happy with the results, and it's getting better all the time. Maybe another question, if you don't mind, was this new offer in Sudowrite, my style, or what is my voice? I mean,
My voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
your
Yeah, that's
voice.
something that
I
I
haven't-
wanted to show actually. So
yeah,
Perfect.
okay, we come back to that.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or we can do this while you're
While
waiting.
it's doing
and
that
just
thing
switch
here.
because import
I-
sometimes uses some
So
time, so that I just
my voice is over here. Do you have
Yeah.
example you want to
Yeah.
show, Dahlia?
No,
Yeah, I
I haven't
have
tried it yet
looked for something.
because I'm I was wondering if it works with the foreign languages. I used
Yeah, it definitely
this-
does.
Yes.
And
Okay, good.
I'm glad to show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going
So-
to let
If
you
we just-
show, Dahlia, during this thing.
Yeah,
is finished.
switch over. And now I have to find the right screen for this. I hope this works now. Can you see my screen? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Awesome. Okay, so my voice, this beta version was worked on a lot in the last couple months, and I was part of the first group that worked on this, and we made it, the team made an effort to make sure that it's compatible with different languages, so that I was there with German, and we had another writer, Julie, who was writing in French. So from the beginning, they really put an effort in to make sure that this works not only for English language, but for all languages. And the thing that you have to do to create your new My Voice is just click here and either drag your book here or paste in some writing sample. And since we're trying to write in Norwegian today, I just looked up something from Gutenberg.org from Ibsen called Catilina. That was like the only Norwegian author that I recognized on the options of Norwegian authors that I had. And you would put this in there. Now, can you still see my, here's my screen. I only have one screen, so I have to make sure that I'm using the right one. And you would copy a section in. It should be at least 1,000 words, but there's no real, I'm not actually sure what the upper limit is, but in testing, it worked best with 3 to 4 chapters. And you should make sure that these chapters strongly show the, what's it called? The style you want to have in your story. So if you, for example, have different POVs who have slightly different styles, you would make one My Voice for each of your POV characters. And it's also important that you use text that is written by you and not by an AI, so that it can really, it doesn't just expand on isms, but highlight your own voice in this writing. And this, here, I'm not actually sure if this is 1,000 words. I just copied it a little bit. Let's see if this works. If not, I have to use a larger sample. You hit start training. Oh no, I'm lazy, so I just copy it in twice. This is something you usually shouldn't do, so should make sure that it's more than thing, but I'm not going to hunt down a different example. You would hit start training, and then while it is looking at the language, you get this little estimated time remaining, this 2 minutes, which is a lot faster than it used to be. There was a different version a couple months ago that took almost like, depending on the size of the manuscript, like 20 minutes to train the model. And this is just now super fast, how this will work. And right now it is focused on rewriting the style of your text compared to, like, you currently can't use it in write or draft. This is planned for the future, but something that we figured out during the beta phase of this was that you either have an AI that is very good at following instructions, or an AI that sounds a lot like you. It was very difficult to create an AI that can do both. And so to make this more efficient and to have something to work with now, we all settled on using the stylize, which is now basically the replacement of rewrite, compared to spending potentially another 6 months on trying to get a version that actually does what you want and not just rewrites a text that's already existing. But it's really good turning AI written text into something that sounds a lot more like you than the models can do by themselves. And as you can see, it looks at some, oh no, it's already there. And it looks at different parts of the language, it analyzes it, and then you get, by default, it's called how the first lines of the text were called, but you can change it here, go edit, and in this case, I would say Ibsen. And then we have a voice that's called Ibsen. And now I have to go back into this one. This was a possible example topic for a story that we could use. The English version is ad executive Julian is sent to film the perfect holiday event in the small town of Willow Creek. Our beloved Willow Creek is like the setting of, it feels like 90% of AI generated content. And there he meets Levi, a charming but disorganized baker fighting to save his Christmas bakery. As they team up, things heat up, both in the kitchen and beyond. It's a bit of a queer romance, which is the genre I prefer to write. And since I usually write in German, I had prepared this in German and English, but something that's also really nice with my voice is that you can use this. You can, first of all, you can choose it here in this highlight menu. You can click here, choose this one. Then you have my voice, Ibsen. You can train various voices and get a ever increasing list of different voices that you can choose in here. And something that's nice, and I did for translating stuff into English, was training this on a passage of a translation of my work, and then use this, my voice, to translate the text from German into English, which worked quite well. Like here, you can just tell it, write a content in Norwegian, and it will translate it. I mean, I cannot, oh my God, Reklamemannen. This sounds so cute, but Reklamemannen is something that you actually, I mean, it's not correct German, but you can also understand it from the language. But with this little note here, it understands that you want to translate it. It often also just works if you don't add this, but to be safe, I like to still have this if I'm using this as something to translate. And you can put this in here. We have our Reklame, and Julian's, and I'm not trying to read the rest of this. And I'm not sure if this reads like Ibsen or not. But as you can see, it translated it into Norwegian. And let's just see. Yeah, and it's not really expansive with 305 credits. I think you can do up to 6,500 words with it, similar to the usual rewrite button. And if I just highlight this again and use this, again, it would give me a different version of this. For roughly the same credits. And something that's also important to keep in mind for this My Voice feature is and just saw that Ibsen's not the best example. Yeah, but at least it tried. But something that's also to keep in mind is depending on the creativity that you set in here, it will change more or less of the text in here. Like if it's on least, it will only tweak little things. And if you put it on most, the result should resemble your example text that you trained on more than the least feature. But let's see if we get it to sound a bit more like Ibsen if we go for most. Yet again, I cannot judge this, but it looks on first glance different than what we have down here. This is the creativity 4. Creative. I cannot write any more creativity. 100% would look like this. And something about creativity 0% would look like this. You have to experiment a bit with creativity slider and also the example prose that you use for your text to judge what gives you the best results. That's interesting. Maybe I gave it not enough text for the training purposes.
How many words did you give it?
A bit over 1,000 words. I think 1,200 roughly.
Yeah,
so that may have been too little for it to properly work. So it may work better if you use more input. I usually have between 5,000 and 10,000 words to train it. Or if I have a full novel, I would just train it on the full novel.
Yeah.
But in general, this is a really good tool to give your text a different flavor. Since if you have it trained for different voices, the results, if you have a better example, probably will look very differently, and you have your style coming through and have it sound more like something that you have actually written.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One thing that I like to add on this, try to be precise. It's like in French, we have French Canadian, we have French from Quebec, we have French Parisian, there was French Norwegian, there is all kind of different French, the same thing with English and other language. So when you ask the system to write in your language, I suggest not in the first commands, but when you get into your prose section, basically after your outline or in your outline, to tell the AI in which language. That's where you need to be precise of what you want. to the point that if it's in the early 1900, then the AI know it's early 1900, so it doesn't bring terms that they didn't talk at the time because it's basing itself on 2021 to 2025 kind of thing.
Yeah, and something that's also quite cool for my voice is that you can use like inline instructions to just make like an inline instruction. I'm not even sure if you have to write inline instruction. I just like to make it really clear that you can ask for stuff like write a heated dialogue between Levi and Julian, or something like that. And there's it.
You can ask for title between prose.
Oh, yeah. But just let's see if this works without the language instruction.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, language, I have no idea. I'm not trying. And you, like here, from this little section, you got 213 words. And the thing that you see here is, even if this may sound more AI-ish, it at least used the formatting that was in the passage by Ibsen that I put in, so that it looks like the script for a play or something. I think what I gave it was a play. Don't speak Norwegian, so I have no idea. But
Good, she likes the
but it
dialogue.
respects this.
It's been like the dialogue.
That's good. That's nice.
Good.
Do some often.
I really like that the name and little tag and then the sentence instead of saying
Yeah.
he says, she says, da 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 da.
Yeah,
We used to have
that
books
works
like
really
that.
well.
We used to have books like that
Yes.
in the
Excuse me for
80s. They're all gone.
excuse me for breaking in, but the dialogue is super. It's just like reading Ibsen because it is so exactly this old-fashioned language and very correct. So so maybe it's something about dialogue because the original text you put in was from a play, you know, so it is dialogue all the
Yeah,
time.
so yeah, that may actually be it, that it's not so good with, like, this was essentially a pitch that it was supposed to
Yeah, it's a
translate,
completely,
so that it's completely different. So,
yeah.
but that's good to see that now that it's writing something that Ibsen may have written,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
actually
no,
sounds like him.
Yeah.
now I'll make Ibsen pieces.
And
Yeah,
you don't
it's
you don't
fun.
have to repeat to write everything in that language. Just put that prompt in and it kept on going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just one thing to keep in mind about the My Voice rewrite feature. Right now, it's not looking at the story Bible information to keep it relatively cheap. So if you use this little inline instruction trick, it may make stuff up about Levi and Julian that's not in your story Bible because it just doesn't see it. That's a little thing to remember. But it's still nice to expand on stuff for your story. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you today. Manon, what's the current state of our import?
Okay, the import, I had to do it twice. It seems to be stuck again to the same one, but I'll show you what happened so far. Let's switch here, replace current share.
Yes.
Desktop 2. All right, so you see my desktop.
Yeah.
So the first one got stuck like this one here, which I restarted. And that one finished. So I'm not sure, something is going on with the importation. He's having a hard time with it today. But like he said, or she said earlier, not everything got translated in the language was supposed to be done in French. They do have everything in breakdown, which is interesting when you bring your information in, because you can go in and check everything one by one and fix it on the spot there. But story Bible wise, you gave me the genre, and even that, it's in English, which normally it brought everything in French. So something is happening to the system. Even the synopsis got brought in English. And then the character, it's mix and match. So it's like, what's going on? So I did re-import it, and I did, at that point, I put down the write-out content in French, and I did add the character underneath, the world building and the outline, hoping that it's going to understand that. So, and that's what I did there. It's trying to do this one. Oh, hold on, go back out. So that one here. So it's trying to extract that, and it seems to having a serious problem with it. But oh, okay, it's moving. That's why we sit moving back and forth like that. So in the meantime, I can actually show you my voice using a much bigger system information here. So here I go and get one of my story that I got. Is that one? I have to refresh because it's on the other computer. I got a story enfantine en français. Where is it? I have to bring it from the other computer. Bear with me a second. It doesn't want to. I have to bring it inside this here. So during that time, you want to talk about something, I have to bring that French story in. Any questions?
There's no question right now, but one thing about the novel import that I noticed lately is that it sometimes, how to say, it makes, especially for characters, it tends to make stuff up and fill in the gaps more than when you use the normal world building import or character import. I'm not sure if I was just unlucky, but in one project that I imported, it turned almost all characters Asian American, even though there was no mention of anyone in this story being Asian American. And I don't mind Asian American characters, but since this was a translation of a book, or at least I wanted to use this for translation, I was like, yeah, but I can't just go and change everyone's ethnicity just because Sudowrite feels like there should be more Asian American characters in my books. Okay. So especially if you use this import, make sure that you double check that all the information that the AI extracted from the story is actually correct, because sometimes it can still hallucinate stuff or just try to be super helpful and fill in information that's not present in the text with its own ideas that may or may not be your ideas. So that's something to just keep in mind when you're importing stuff.
Yeah, so let's create a new My Voice. As you can see, I have a few of, I work on the bio and basically a book on Elvis Presley about his life. And you get all those voices that I got imported for the bio class. The book is written a while back, and I was showing how that worked. And then you see here my grandfather. But here, if I want to create a voice of someone which writes story for children. So this is a story for children, but in French. So I import everything in it, chapter 1 and everything else. Don't check how many words I had. It's more than 2,000 words because I asked for at least, I would have to check the number of words, but basically I wanted a lot of dialogue to show how each character are talking or writing, the author is writing the story, and it's all in French. So it's going to do this one by just importing directly inside this one here. So doing this is going, because we saw that earlier. She was showing the reading level and the language. Let's go see if that got fixed here. So let's go in our... Really, he's not listening at all today when it comes to bring in French. No, none whatsoever. So something get lost in the importation, because before it did import and everything was in French. So why is that? Did it change the model when we import information, you think? One thing I'm afraid
it's possible. I don't remember what it used to be, but it's possible that, I don't know, it was using a model that's retired by now.
What I'm afraid of is maybe if they actually choose Muse to import stuff in.
Ah.
Because Muse doesn't do any other language.
Yeah. A cat has a good idea just to make a bug report for this, so that they can take a look in this.
Yeah, we're going to have, I'm going to send a message to Sudowrite to say that the importation of other language is no longer working inside the Story Bible. Kind of funny because all the titles are in the proper language, which I would not want to get everyone to go and do the translation inside those boxes. Very costly. But if you like the outline, if you want the outline to be written in the language of your choice, you can just go in the rewrite and you say basically write content. Oh my God, I don't know how to type anymore.
Yeah, I feel this.
In French, I'm on different keyboard. I'm not used to work on that. Oh yeah, keyboard. Copy. And it's supposed to translate inside the box itself. In the meantime, let's see what that do here. So we have our voice, les quatre flammes et la lyre. So we have our French voice for author voice of a middle grade book, 7 to 13 years old. So if I want to go and write a story or get everything written in that same voice, I can go and get this voice over here that I just trained the AI with. One thing that is great about training the AI, do not forget you can record yourself if you're doing a class or something, or if you are like me and you go in a car and it says, I have a good idea for a story, and this story is like, it's just pulling at you, want to get out, record yourself. Talk your story out. Do the voice for your character. Put the intonation in it. Then when you get home in your office, get the transcription of your recording of your voice and then bring it inside my voice. Then it's really your voice that you're going to train the AI in Sudowrite to write the book that you had the idea in your car or in your shower, whatever you take your imagination from, and bring it in that way. And voilà. Now it did translate basically in French the little paragraph that we had for the Coureur des Bois of my grandfather. So, and he's telling me about the narrator is explaining the origin of the Coureur des Bois, because my grandfather is what he does at the start of his story. So with this, for me, it's not enough. I know the whole story, I know it by heart, but that's where I like to go and play. People like to take this and just go in and create. So I do it many different ways, but here's one of the one that can be done. We just go and create our chapter 1. So we know it's there. This is the first one. Let's go see something about the style here, because we have no style. And everything over here, it's also in English. So before we go any farther, we have to fix that. And how we do that? That was a question.
That was a question.
How we
Would
do
someone
that?
from the chat like to answer, or should I just answer?
Write all content. All content
Yeah.
in French. Now,
Yeah.
where would I get my
Always
French?
put your magic formula wherever you can.
Yeah, forever and ever, until one day they actually figure it out that we really want that to work. What's kind of not fun is because it used to work. I mean, we used to have everything in our language, and it's not that way anymore. That's really sad. I'm kind of really sad. So here I like to have this fixed. I'm going to put this in here. In this, let's see if we can do write our content in French. Canadian 2025. Let me rewrite of that synopsis. I'm just testing. I never did it this way. I'm just testing. I want to see if it's working. Ce récit autobiographique plonge le lecteur dans la vie d'un coureur des bois canadien chevronné. L'auteur Armand Doucette nous invite à suivre ses traces à travers l'immense nature sauvage du Canada. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's really well written, easy to read out loud. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I invite you to try to put the information you want when you do that. It's doing a very good job. And from there, that's one thing that we find in the past. If you go and regenerate your character, once the synopsis has been fixed, go generate your character. And if I say I want to regenerate Armand Doucette, now you should do it in French, but let's go and check if we have to put that little sentence again. So basically I will have Armand in English, but I will also have Armand at the bottom showing up, and it should show up in French. Any question? I'm going off track. That's me. My head goes all over the place because I want to test everything. So if I lose someone in the way, please speak up.
But so far the chat is clear. But we still have a couple minutes left. So if you have some burning questions, drop them now.
Yeah.
Since this time we have to,
Oh
we
my
can't
goodness.
go over that much.
He did not do
It's-
it in French. I'm not happy with that at all. Not happy with that at all.
Yeah, I had this recently with German as well, that everything was in German up to like synopsis, brain dump, etc. But the characters turned up and
Yeah, this
were
is
a mix
not
of German
normal.
and English. It's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. That's not normal. We used to have everything to work. As soon as everything else was in French, it was going to work all in French, and it's not working that like it used to be.
I suspect
There we go.
it's either the model changed or something in the background.
Yeah,
But
something
this
changed.
time.
So we
This-
have to put that magic prompt to really force it to go and put everything in French, which we didn't have to do so much before. Yeah, so we are forced to put our little magic prompt more and more and more than we used to.
Yeah. But I still have hope that one day we will get our language button.
I'm not sure that's not what I want to do. I want to add a character, but not that way. I want to generate a new character which doesn't even exist there. By just changing and adding that, yeah. I want to see if it's going to do it because I put the magic prompt in every single box. See if it's going to work this out.
And I'm wondering what it will come up with
Yeah.
for Manon.
He kind of knows me because I have a lot of my, even in my children book, like in my children middle class, I gave last week or 2 weeks ago. My very, very first book of the series of 52 books of Twinkle Big Dreams. The very first story is my story. There we go. So the major caractère, la silencieuse, woohoo, it says I'm quiet. Represent the tension entre tradition et modernité dans la nouvelle génération. So he knows I'm new. So I'm not one of those, like my grandfather in 1920. Kind of cool. Voyage
Oh,
de
but you're 22.
Oh, I'm 22 years old. Oh my goodness. Cool.
That's great.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. So by just adding me, but adding that prompt everywhere, we finally got it that I want everything in French. So we're back at the drawing board that we
Yeah.
have to put that magic sentence in every box again.
Yeah, we have to keep yelling at the AI to understand which language we want.
Yeah. So we
It's like always like an up and down with it. So
yeah. In the thing that is supposed to fix in Sudowrite, I think we were number 20 in the list.
I wasn't there at the meeting where that was discussed, so
Yeah.
sadly I couldn't vote for it to get higher.
That's what it is. So if I was to use that voice into one of the new projects I'm working on, let's see, we're working on a story for children. If you allow me to go crazy a little bit, I want to see if I use that voice on a story which is already written. In the first draft, I will simply double this so I don't break it up. Duplicate. And as you can see, it's all in English. What I want to know is if I use the voice, which is the French one, if it's going to do it in French. So that voice that we did under my voice, les quatre flammes et la lyre. Let's see what it's going to do with that. Ha, ha,
Aber die
ha.
Petite Lied.
It does in French.
Oh, nice.
So it's
Very
taking
nice.
this story and it's going to rewrite it by the author voice that I asked for and is writing it in French.
Yeah.
Something that we
But
can
it's
work
cute that
with.
we have Willow Brook, you know,
Yeah.
instead of Willow Creek. Just
So,
change.
yeah, that's done. This one is done with, what did I use to do this one? The first draft. So this is the middle grade class I'm preparing for me and John in September. We do 4 sessions for middle grade back to school and 4 sessions for SMUT in September. So you can use your voice that you can train the AI in your language. Take one of your stories that you got in English or something, and then you can retrain in your language. There, we all learned something new today.
Yep.
Any
And I'm looking
questions?
up the feature request for language button. That
Yeah,
should be there somewhere. There's a search.
do you see it?
Let's see, language button. It's searching.
So what she's talking
Oh,
about,
there are actually several possible buttons.
she go in the suggest feature.
Yeah, I'm looking at the feedback right now. If there is already one that's there, but there's probably a lot.
So language switching, I hope to add a language switching feature
Yeah.
to the system. As a Chinese user,
Yeah.
the language barrier prevent me from using the website smoothly. That's the
Ah,
part
yeah.
I did
That's the
bring.
newest one.
Yeah, this is one thing I brought to Sudowrite. I says, you know, people who doesn't write or read in English, they even want these things in their language. And normally, people who has the Google Translate as a how we call these things here, an extension. Normally, these things get translated,
Yeah.
but not Sudowrite. As far as I know, Sudowrite, I don't know someone. I tried a few times, and it doesn't translate those little words into the language of the person is using. If someone tried it and it's working, please let me know. That's one thing that we asked for. Did we? How do we up?
You just click on the little arrow. You have to be logged
Yeah,
in for
but the
this.
problem with that is always
And
asking us to re-sign in.
yeah, it's annoying.
This
And
is,
I sadly don't know how to change your name on this either.
I don't know why it's
You
doing.
probably can do it in the profile.
How important is it for
Essentially.
you? Is it true? So Sudowrite is a great free, but I found frustrating to decide to cancel my subscription due to the limited language. It's not something that's not that's not a feature. It's giving his frustration here. We want that button. Do that. It's essential that we get the button to be a
It's really,
partner.
really.
Yeah. So this is how you go and upvote as many as we can, because that's where we can see when we upvote how much upvote is doing. That's most helpful. Not sure what that's all about, but maybe it's people putting more and more demand in. Very urgent demand. Please add more language, as such as Chinese, English difficult. We have a lot of Chinese.
Yeah.
Right
I mean,
here,
there are a
see,
lot of people speaking Chinese, so.
that one is telling that the Google one doesn't work. Multi-language feature using the tool feature, the language the user, it's difficult to navigate the platform without the Google. And even with the Google, it doesn't work. French version, general setting, define the app default language, French version, full potential. It's a bit convenient that I have to specify, write all the output in French every time I receive a reply at the language. A general setting to define the app default language. Yep, that would be great to have. And Muse doesn't have, that's not, they say that Muse, it's not in any other language but English. So do we have question or anything we can answer?
Just one thing about the feedback is if it's possible to consolidate all this request into one, and so that you only have to upload one, but I'm not sure that's possible. I think they kind of did that when they moved over from another feedback request thing to this one. But right now the thing is, I think Nicole was able to do that once not long ago. Yeah, you probably would have to like search for all of them and then.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Kat. Some place my Sudowrite doesn't show my name, it shows my email. It's a bit inconvenient and I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah.
But if you look for language, you find so many people wanting a better language support.
Wonder of how much we
So that
get.
I mean, they are essentially aware that.
Okay, I'm trying with 1,253 words. If it's going to rewrite the whole story with the amount of words.
But it's looking good, I think.
So we have Oliver, yes, the same guy. it did reduce to 900 words. So pretty sure there will be a place where I will have to go and expand on that story. But it's not too bad. So I highlighted the 1,253 words and asked to write in that language. I don't see a lot of dialogue. It's a bit short, so I will go and ask ChatGPT I will go and read it and check everything here compared to the original.
Yeah, it's something I found with using my voice is that it often makes the new version shorter. Like it's filtering out the fluff, basically.
Yeah, which normally we kind of want that before you're publishing. A lot of fluff needs to come out. But the story doesn't have any, on this one here, there's no dialogue anyway. So that's something I will go and read everything and add dialogue and expand on that story for children. But it's nice to know, try to figure out what's the maximum words we can highlight to use my voice.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure of this as well, but I think it's roughly the same that we had with the rewrite button. But I could be wrong. But short chapters usually work quite well.
Perfect.
But we're at the top of the hour.
Yep.
Just so that we don't go too much over. If there are any more questions, drop them in the chat now. Since there's another class in half an hour, we would have to drop off in like, I'd say 10 minutes latest, so that Benita has enough time to set stuff up. But we still have the chance to answer a few more questions if there's anything you want to know.
So today is the office hour, or there's another class?
Yeah, the deep dive is the Cozy Mystery Blueprint is in 30 minutes.
It's one of our new teachers, isn't it?
Yes, Benita is, I think she started this month.
Yeah. Cool. I guess we'll go and get to it. So sorry I missed a big chunk of the class, but thank you for the class, and I will look at the video once it's up, no problem. And I will let you do the ticket, Kat, so it's not going to be done in double, or send me a copy and I can do the same ticket, so they will say, hey, wait a sec, they were all in the same class.
Yeah.
So if there's any more question at all that you want us to test before we close this. So just as a closing the recording, I'm going to say thank you. My name is Manon Dahlia. I write in both language, English and French, and I love all the other language. I have to learn something new every day. And my beautiful assistant, co-host, host, author, teacher, ambassador, Dahlia.
Thank you. Yeah.
Also a published author.
Yeah, and I'm mostly write in German. But I also want to dabble in some other languages with the help of AI. Okay, so now it's just us. But that's like the main thing I wanted to show is this, how you can use this feature. Just get really short cuts, and then you can just go and read it and see if this sounds better or worse than, like this is now Gemini Pro. I jot down that this is Gemini Pro because I got good stuff in there. And you can then switch the model to another one. Nice. Maybe this was a rather new model, like Nano. then just do the same thing, and it now gets the same information, which in this case is kind of nothing except that it's supposed to write in Persian. So I have no idea what kind of story it's coming up with. But this way you can figure out this is the style you get from GPT 4.0 Nano, this is what you would get from Gemini, and this is also
Gemini is pretty better.
yeah, it's also a bit more expensive if you look here compared to Nano.
I guess you get what you pay for.
Yeah, that's really think something to consider. For example, I get decent pros, I think, from using Basic, which is really cheap. Look what it comes up with. But at least for German, I'd rather pay more for Excellent than having to manually fix Basic. So it's always like thinking about the cost and the work that you put in. Sometimes it's just worth to spend more credits on a task. Let's see what the difference would get with Excellent. This is like this medium size thing. And it's also
Which model?
it sadly doesn't say it anywhere on the card, which is the reason that I'm writing it down on a notepad so that I can copy them into the model and still know which was actually which one.
Yeah. Do we get charged for the cards too?
Yeah, we get charged for each card. Now this one's very cheap, probably very short. That's not very excellent. So maybe Excellent ain't that excellent for Persian, unless it's very stellar prose.
What do you
But
use for
there's-
yourself, German?
For German, I really prefer Excellent right now.
Okay.
Like Claude 3.7 Sonnet just gives really good language, and it's very, very good at pulling in information from the story Bible.
Oh, okay.
So I have to admit, I haven't tried Gemini Pro yet, and I heard a lot of good things about it. So I might switch.
Yeah.
But just for the fun of it, we could just see if Muse is actually able to write anything in Persian. Like it writes German, but it writes the kind of German that sounds like it's translated from English, which is not always bad,
Yeah.
but you notice that it's not German. Okay, what does this look like?
Oh, well, this one is dialogue. Let's see. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it
It's
all
interesting
depends, I think.
because the other ones gave a description, but this one gave dialogue. Is there a reason why?
It's
Like the other
possible
ones were like-
since Muse is trained for fiction purposes, while the others are not like trained for the purpose of writing fiction, but for general language stuff.
Oh, that's
So it
interesting.
may be
because, yeah,
that
this one
that's
is
the reason
so
that
character.
Muse is more literary. It's often
Mm,
that's
that's
nice.
how expensive is Muse compared to Gemini?
Let's see. It's actually in the medium range.
Yeah, you're
Like
right.
Gemini is definitely the most expensive one. But something that's
Yeah.
also interesting to see is that like this card is a lot shorter than, for example, this card, which is also something I noticed with Excellent or the Claude 3 or the Claude models, like all tend to like underperform in the length department.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that maybe Excellent isn't so excellent here since it's not good at counting words and it's better in long form.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
using Write for testing this is a really good thing to see which model you like best for working with it. Since
Okay. Oh, cool.
it
So I
doesn't
just have
take as long as draft because it's not thinking that much. What did you say?
So if I, in the key details, if I add the description of like, those two authors, like the quiet way that Carol Shields writes and the mystery of Agatha Christie, would that take into consideration when it gives me samples of cards?
Yeah, it would take that into consideration. And if you have your
Okay.
own project, you can also toggle on the story Bible. In this case, I fear since I have all this information in German, it would have confused, right? But if it's a brand new project, you can just toggle this on and put all the information about the author into the style box. Since
Okay.
Write
If you
also
don't mind,
leases
Dahlia,
this. Yeah.
can you show me how to open a new project where I'm intending to write a fiction? Because I have a nonfiction in there right now, but I don't. How do you open it from the start with the intention of writing fiction?
Yeah, it's just, now what did this do? That was weird. Like you could just do it the same way, essentially, open it here as a project.
Okay.
And then what I usually do is fill out the brain dump with my ideas about my fiction project. And that's essentially like, and given it the fiction genre, in your case, that would be mystery. And essentially it works the same way, whether you're writing nonfiction or fiction. Honestly, I think it's a lot easier to write fiction with this, since that's what it was designed for in the beginning. Sadly, Manon's not here anymore since she's the nonfiction writer of the two of us. So she knows a lot more about writing nonfiction and how the workflows differ depending on what you're writing.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. That gives me a really good place to start. And do you typically pick first draft at this point?
It really depends how much ideas I already have. Like I also like to use this little brainstorm button, or like just using this quick chat, which is essentially ChatGPT inside of Sudowrite. That's good for going back and forth with ideas.
Oh, how did you go to
Quick chat is like you find it here, this chat about an idea button. That's down here. But if you have something in here like blab, blab, then you can also, if you highlight it, you get quick edit, and then quick chat, it's hiding behind quick edit. That's a bit unintuitive, but once you know that it's there, it's easy to get there. And if you just want to open it without highlighting something, you can also use, on a Mac, it's Command K. On a Windows, I think it's Control and a K. Then it just pops up. Oh, and as I just noticed, if you click it again, it also closes. I was figuring out new funny stuff. And that's like, I love Quick Chat, since Quick Chat's also one of the few features that are free. So you can just go back and forth as much with it as you like. There's also a paid version, if you toggle this here, that costs credits. But for the usual stuff, you get fine enough just with the free version. So if you want to save your credits for the writing, do the thinking with Quick Chat.
Is Quick Chat as good as ChatGPT?
The free version of Quick Chat is powered by, now I have to think. I think it's 4.0 Mini. So it's as good as ChatGPT 4.0 Mini. If you use one of the newer models, obviously ChatGPT would be better, especially if you want to research stuff where you need the, what's it called? I think it's deep research where it actually thinks a lot about stuff.
Yeah.
In that case, I would advise just to stick with ChatGPT, since as far as I'm aware, Quick Chat doesn't go and search the internet for you. It's just like if you want to search stuff, it has this cut off date that 4.0 and 4.0 mini has. So for research purposes, I'd head over to ChatGPT or Perplexity or something like that. But if it's just brainstorming, I think it works just as well. But it may not give you a full answer, since there's a limit on how much output it can give. I'm not sure where this limit lies, but at some point, if it gives you long outputs, it will just break, but then you can say continue and it will continue.
I see. Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Dahlia. I will take this on and join you guys' next one. I really appreciate the extra time
awesome.
you spent.
It was really great having you here as well. So
thank you.
There's only one thing left to say, that's thank you for being here. And also thank you to Manon, who's not here anymore, but who also did a great job today. And if you have a little bit time, please leave a rating and a review. That always helps us a lot in shaping these workshops for everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And with this being said, I release you in your Friday evening, or whatever time you have. It's evening in Germany right now, so it's dinner time.
Nice.
But depending where you are, maybe it's lunch or you have some.
It's lunchtime here. I'm in Toronto.
Lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wish you a nice lunch and happy writing. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next workshop.
Thank you so much, Dahlia. I wish you a good dinner and a great weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, you as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.